We live in the Southern California desert in an area called the Coachella Valley. My students learn in a BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device environment. Our classroom is mostly paperless, always engaging.
Teach! Okay, Mesopotamia is the land between two rivers.
Sometimes chaotic, often collaborative, and definitely creative. Teaching with technology opens doors to digital literacy, information literacy, electronic credibility. Here, students produce just as much as they consume. My goal is to prepare my students for college and the careers that they will have someday. My name is Jessica Pack, and I teach without limits. Okay, your job is to brainstorm ideas for each section. If you were building a city and you're in ancient Mesopotamia, how would you make sure that it's safe? How would you make sure it's productive?
I think Ms. Pax loves every single of her students because she shows it to us. She tells us every single day, "You're awesome, I love you."
I would describe Ms. Pack by her sense of style because she always comes in with a dress and a flower in her hair.
Miss Pack, you surprise me every time I see you.
And I love using technology in our class. It makes class more fun each day.
For example, Sketch, Subtext, Google Drive.
We could use iPads and we could highlight and annotate.
I think Miss Pack wants to help us all the way until we reach college because she wants us to be successful.
I was one of those kids who really didn't know what they wanted to be when they grow up, but she affected it in such a huge way that now I actually want to be a film director.
I didn't want to be in any class that had like me on camera talking like today, but Mrs. Pack showed me the way to do it, and now it's like all that I want, and I'm very passionate to do what I do.
Jessica Pack is a role model for teachers.
The thing that makes her stand out is her devotion to her students and the amount of energy she puts into her teaching.
For such a young teacher, she has shown extraordinary leadership skills.
Teaching without limits means passionately preparing today's young people for their future. It means leveraging technology, tapping into student interests, providing opportunities for self-directed learning, integrating the arts, engaging in service learning, and ultimately pushing the boundaries of our profession to benefit kids. When we teach without limits, no effort is wasted. It is reflected back tenfold in the futures of the students whose lives we touch.
Jessica Pack.
What an incredible thing to be a 2014 California Teacher of the Year. I owe a debt of gratitude to my husband, Brandon, my principal, Mr. Brad Sauer, the incredible staff at James Workman Middle School, and of course, my students, who are the heartbeat of Room 208. Now, I have a confession to make, and tonight seemed like the perfect opportunity because it's such a small, intimate gathering, so I thought I'll just share one of my deepest, darkest secrets. So here goes. I was not a very good middle school student. Awkward, uncertain, absolutely terrified of failure, and with perhaps the worst yearbook photo in human history, I often found it easier to simply give up before I even began. Somehow, not trying at all seemed preferable to trying without success. And it really wasn't until college that I came into my own as a learner by discovering my passions, not the least of which is teaching. Since I was far from the best during my own early school years, I understand the reluctant learner. My primary goal as a teacher each day is to connect with all kids, especially those who struggle and feel like misfits and need a kind word from an adult they trust. Each day in my classroom is a memorable, extraordinary, and safe place to grow, and that's my goal. Fostering success is important to me because I know that success, even a little of it tends to increase exponentially as students experience it. My true north, my guiding principle, is that the future is only a split second away. I see the future in the eyes of my students as they become reading detectives, investigative reporters, social studies historians, innovators who seek creative solutions, and authors of digital media. One of my students, Jabari, is actually here tonight with his mother, Mrs. King. I've had the privilege of being Jabari's video production teacher for the last 3 years, and in that time, I have watched him grow from a kid with a video camera into a talented and often poignant filmmaker. Jabari, you have shared with me that our work together in class has inspired you and made you aspire to be a movie director, but what you may not fully understand is how much you inspired me. The night that you won your very first movie-making award, you looked at me and said, "This is so cool! I wish I could shout this success to the world!" And that night, I went home and I wrote the very first chapter of my book on digital filmmaking in the classroom. Because of Jabari and all the other Room 208 kids, I continue to invest sweat equity in education. I believe that we must passionately prepare today's young people for their futures. And to do that, we must teach with the type of vision that can move mountains. Helping students become whoever they are going to turn out to be in life is important work. Greatness is always inspired by visionary passion, and nowhere is that more important than in the classroom. Teachers are the ones who, through visionary passion, inspire our students to new heights of success. My focus as a teacher is to create a technology-rich learning environment where such greatness can begin to emerge. Ultimately, our role as educators should be to empower children to generate their own goals and dreams while equipping them with the skill set that will enable fruition. How do we do this? We approach each day more passionately than the last. Garden variety passion will not do. It is not enough to simply be motivated. Visionary passion springs from an unshakable core belief in the potential of every student and in the tenet that what happens in our classrooms each day matters. Thank you for the honor of representing California education. I am grateful and more inspired than ever.